And now, FAIRFAX Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Hello, and welcome to the FAIRFAX Breakfast Club show. My name is Basil Lemba, and I will be your host. The FAIRFAX Breakfast Club is a weekly program in which we bring you valuable and workable know-how you can use to improve your networking and grow your business. We always start the show with a quote, and today's quote is, "To become an Olympian, you have to practice enough. To become a good writer, you have to write a lot. To become a good networker and get the expected result, well, you'll have to network a lot." With us today in the studio, we have somebody who understands this point fully and strive to get others to understand it and practice it. She is with Farmer Insurance, and her name is Jessee Perry. Hello, Jessee.
Hello, Basil.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Excellent. Tell us what you do at Farmer, your title first, and tell us the many programs that most people do not know having to do with farmers.
Okay. Well, I'm a marketing specialist at our Northern Virginia agency point. So what I like to do is find ways to plug our agents into the community, specifically the Northern Virginia community. Farmers has really given us a lot to work with at the national level, so it makes it really easy to do this and a lot of fun, of course, since I'm here with you. So some things that people might not know about Farmers: we were actually established in Los Angeles in 1928.
Oh, really?
We were one of the few companies that started right before, of course, the stock market crash and survived through it. We were actually able to pay cash claims when others were paying in IOUs. So we were pretty much there for our clients and have been for the past 80 plus years.
Gotcha.
We've been able to steadily grow as a company through acquiring smaller companies like Foremost, and what some people might know is we actually own 21st Century, an auto insurance company. We have really great industry strength too, which gives us a very solid background for our agents to step up on. One big thing was we were recently upgraded by Standard & Poor's to an A+ ranking in the financial industries.
Okay, very good. All right. So, okay, now let me ask you this before we go any further. How did you get into farmers?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. 19 years ago is when it kind of started for me, which is kind of an odd statement, I guess. It was when my father became one of the first farmers agents in Virginia. So after I went to college and got my bachelor's, I decided to come from Richmond up to Northern Virginia to be on the corporate side for at least a little while.
Okay, very good. And your mom is also does something with insurance as well?
Yes, she's actually the life producer for my dad's agency.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so they're both two small business owners down in Richmond.
So you're a product of the insurance company?
Yes, insurance and entrepreneurship.
Very good. Okay, now please tell us about the other programs that farmers have.
Oh, yeah. Farmers, we have a lot of community programs. We don't necessarily believe in just you come in, you buy insurance, we hear from you maybe when you think your price is too high. We really like to build relationships. So something that's really big is we have a lot of catastrophe relief programs. This includes what we call a CAT bus, which is it's our catastrophe claims mobile bus. It's like a big RV. Along with that, we have 39 customer care vehicles. So when there's a hurricane, a tornado, any big disaster where people need help, we're not just out there helping our clients. We're handing out food, cooking warm meals. Our employees, our agents are out there really creating a big service to those who need it the most at the time. So that's one big thing that we like to do. Other than that, we have a huge commitment to three things, and that's really education, safety, and healthy babies.
Why healthy babies? How did that come about?
Healthy babies, that's actually through the March of Dimes. One of our CEOs is a very, very strong supporter of March of Dimes. And there's a lot of people within the farmers community and people that we know that have been impacted. For example, March of Dimes, one of the big ways it got started was actually funding the research for creating the polio vaccine. So their goal is to have as many healthy babies born and survive childhood as possible. So actually, even in 2011, we were able to raise as a company $4.9 million. That was a big donation to them.
Very good.
Other than that, we really like to support our teachers through providing free lesson plans, discounts, various resources to them.
Free lesson plan, what do you mean by that and how?
We have it's usually a DVD associated with a book that takes the teacher through it. And it's mostly multicultural. We have Across the Waves, we have Freedom Song, Second to None, Enter Stage Right. So they're both for elementary and also middle and high school.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. And then another thing, the commitment to safety, we like to do that through fingerprinting kits for their parents, providing the child identification kits so that they're able to keep all of that information on file in case, hopefully not, but in case anything was ever to happen.
How do you do that?
We have little brochures, and they have the ink pad in them. They have a nice handy wipe, so kids won't just grab at things with ink on their hands, of course. And we like to go out to community events, if it's a cookout in the neighborhood, if it's the county fair, and hand those out and distribute them to parents who might not necessarily think of that as a first priority, even though they definitely believe it is.
Very good. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so what I personally do with my job is I like to take it to a local level. I mean, these are great national programs that we've been provided. If you come to, of course, your Ultimate Biz Expo on December 7th,
Absolutely.
everybody will be able to see our amazing facility that we've been given with 25,000 square feet. So with that kind of resource, it only makes sense to me to open it up to our community. If we want to make sure people are safe, they're educated, they have all of these resources, then we like to go out in the community, but we also like to bring them into our house because not everybody has access to that to really gather in a community setting.
Very good. Now we can see the picture of your building here in Reston.
Yes, yes.
On Sunset Hill Road.
Yep, on the 8th floor. It's a very, very beautiful view.
Okay.
Nice to look out from over the trees.
Very good. Now tell me, what is your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is having people understand that when you say, hi, I'm with Farmers Insurance, I'm not necessarily going to automatically say, can I quote your auto? Can I quote your home? I want to see what I can do and what my agents can do for you as an individual. Like, what are your needs? Is there something a resource that I can provide you? Something that maybe you hadn't thought of that would help you out with your business, with your personal life. So that's the biggest challenge, is really breaking that mold, because a lot of insurance companies have neglected to cultivate those relationships that are so important to long-term business.
How do you handle that? How do you go over that?
I either personally go to networking events, or I cruise a lot of websites in the area, local ones, to find events for our agents. Contact people like yourself, make sure that people are aware of the fact that we have these resources. So basically just talking, networking, getting our name out there in various ways, locally at least.
Okay.
And the other part of that, of course, is we have agents housed at our facility. I have agents that are in Woodbridge, some that are from DC that are coming into Reston, some from different parts of Loudoun County. So these agents in and of themselves can function as kind of community hubs and community leaders. So whatever I have them for them in our house, they can take back to their communities and really expand our reach, so that we're not just in Reston, Virginia, we're truly in Northern Virginia.
What do you mean by the agent coming to your house? What do you mean?
Well, the agents, they, while they're from, like one of them, for example, actually lives in Woodbridge and makes that commute up to Reston, up 95.
Okay.
So they can take it back to their specific community. If you, for example, are in Woodbridge and you decide, I'm going to have a barbecue, I want to have a community cookout, I want to provide child fingerprinting kits. You could find your local farmer's agent and call them up, and they would be able to provide that resource by coming to where you are in your community.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand. So is it an insurance agent in Woodbridge that come to you in Reston? Or is it somebody in Woodbridge has a policy that come to you to get the help?
Well, we focus on we actually, during their first year of business, at our facility, we house agents, basically.
So they come there.
They work in Reston.
They have a place to work and sit
we
there.
provide them with their desk, their printing, training facilities, marketing programs.
Okay.
I store a lot of the brochures.
Okay.
So then they can take those resources back into their specific community.
Gotcha. Okay, I understand. All right. What is your biggest success?
I think our biggest success is honestly how busy we've been just having people in and out of our facility. Like on one hand, that's great quoting opportunities for our agents, of course, great sales opportunities. But on the other hand, that's more and more people that I'm able to help through linking them up with a program or a person that's able to help them.
I want to segue over here. I mentioned December, she mentioned also December Expo, which is, you can see the flyer on the screen there. We'll be at the Kinetic building, exactly the location of Farmers. That's we'll have it on the 8th floor. We have an expo there in December 7 from 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock. We'll have 100 exhibitors there, and we're expecting 400 to 500 business people. So you are welcome to join us, and also we have some exhibitor spot available as well as some sponsorship. So you can email us so you can join us that day at Jessee's place.
It'll be a great event, definitely.
Looking forward to it.
Definitely.
So what else do you have for us?
Well, of course, I mentioned that our agents, we house them and provide them with space for their first year. And something that Farmers, when they were founded, while one of the things, of course, was that we wanted a great high quality insurance at a good price, the founders also really wanted to focus on providing a small business opportunity. And we tout the fact that we really truly, I think, are the best small business opportunity in America. It's a great opportunity to start your own small business. For example, my father, I mentioned, he was in road construction prior to that.
Gotcha.
And he's been able to establish generational wealth, a legacy. So while the company itself has a legacy, we're also able to provide that opportunity for anybody who's interested.
Gotcha.
So you can basically be your own boss. And one of the things that we really focus on is that while you're in business for yourself, you're not in business by yourself.
Gotcha.
So we like to make sure that the space, the resources, the trainers, the sales managers, myself, the marketing specialists, customer service representatives, you're not out there alone. So we really are building kind of a hub there as well for them to be able to get things off the ground during what's the most difficult year, the first year. On the other side of that, we also have an awesome recruiting bonus. So if you find anybody that you know that is interested in being an agent, they start our class, you get $1,050.
Okay.
So it's kind of, we like to, of course, give back. We're not just trying to get everything we can.
Gotcha. Okay. I understand you have expansion plan on the East Coast.
Yes, sir.
What are they?
Until a couple years ago, Farmers was actually only in 29 states. Since then, we've been able to expand to 2 offices in New Jersey, 2 in Pennsylvania. Our most recent one, actually, we just opened up in Maryland, followed by Atlanta, Georgia. The upcoming ones I've heard are actually going to be in New York.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you're not in New York yet?
Not in New York yet,
Oh,
not
wow.
yet. And then South Carolina, which is another exciting one. So we're slowly but surely, for instance, the company, we're really from Los Angeles. At some point, they just decided to stop expanding. So we've picked back up that growth, definitely. So we're creating these hubs, agency points in all of these cities.
Are they all called agency points?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Yes, for example, the one in Maryland is actually near Baltimore, the Owing Mills agency point, the Alpharetta, Georgia agency point. So
Gotcha.
we're the Reston one.
So people can be working from there. They can also, or they can have another location where they have their office.
Yeah,
Or
so
just a resource center for them, a place where they can pull away and just do some work whenever they want to.
pretty much during their first month, I think it's actually 5 weeks, they have an intensive training program with Farmers. And then it becomes a little more, they can go out in the community a little bit more once they have a great foundation that we provide them. Then they'll come back, maybe I think it goes down to 3 days a week instead of 5 days a week.
Gotcha.
So we provide all of that. And actually what's really exciting is, on I believe it's September 7th, we're having the grand opening for one of our first agents opening his office in Alexandria.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty exciting. So after their first year, he, I think, just celebrated his 1 year this past Thursday.
Okay.
So that was something that was really exciting for us. And he's able to go out into his actual community and set that shop up. And we're gonna go out and support him and get as many people as we can out there to see that we're in Alexandria especially.
Gotcha. And since when do you guys have the office in Reston?
We opened up, actually, I believe the first day we were officially in the facility was August 15th of 2011, so 1 year.
Oh, wow. That's pretty young.
Yeah, yeah. But Farmers, of course, has been in Virginia for almost, I think, 20 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Farmers before.
Yeah, yeah.
Seen Farmers before. Okay. That's very, very interesting. Okay. So what would you recommend then to, if it's talking to the business owners or to their audience, what advice would you give them?
I would honestly tell them that even though it might be tempting to just have internet-based relationships, try and get that fast business in our fast-paced society, that relationships are really going to continue to be the foundation of a lot of business that we have going on. Even though we, of course, have 24-hour news, we're all always on our phones, texting, emailing, 3 a.m.
Never heard of it.
Right. No, I've never heard of 3 a.m. emailing. What is that? So I think definitely it's still all about the relationships, about getting out in the community. It's about talking to people. It's about even taking those online relationships through LinkedIn, for example, and taking them offline and being able to figure out where do you fit in a personal, interpersonal context. And that's really what's going to, not always, it's going to grow your business, but it's going to keep you established and get you long-term in the community.
Absolutely. Very good. Now, we'd like for you to tell us, we have the chance or the opportunity to have you attend one of our breakfast events.
Yes.
I'd love for you to
I'm laughing because I think I went and told my parents and my friends that I was going to a really early morning breakfast event, and they just laughed. They're like, "You're never going to get up." I'm not the biggest morning person. So one thing I highly recommend is, even if you're not a morning person, get up, get out there, because you're going to wake them up. Through making us say hello to everybody, doing the speed networking so you're getting your blood pumping. I think that was one of the most productive days I had at work, so I was just awake and ready to go. So it was definitely a fun event. Had a lot of laughs, enjoyment, and met a lot of people that I've been able to keep in touch with and build on. I think what was interesting about that one was, actually at that event we had someone who was coming on to Farmers at it with me. So I was able to be there and see them in action right before they became a Farmers agent and signed their contract with us.
Oh, wow.
So that was a really fun, nice to see in the community. Our agents doing the big things, the right things, before they even put the pen to the paper.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
Of course.
I must say that Farmers will be the sponsor of our event, and that's where we're having the event on December 7th that I mentioned. And I am very impressed by what Farmers does. In the sense that more often than not, you hear about social responsibility, doing something for the community, but at times you do not necessarily get to see it. It may exist, it may happen. I just don't get the opportunity to see it somehow. Maybe they do it, they don't publicize it. But having dealt with you guys recently, I can clearly see a real and sincere commitment to the community.
Definitely.
Yes.
It's one of the fun parts of the job, no matter how stressful it gets. It's one of the most rewarding parts, is being able to see the actual impact we're able to have on people's lives.
And it's a winning formula, because it's a relationship, and it's even also bigger than a relationship, because now it is a relationship also between organization and farmers, not just the individual organization, farmers. And I had, prior to the show today, I had a guest on my show, and then they started a networking organization, and we're talking, and then they went into it just to help people. There was nothing wrong with making the money, but that's not what they went into it. And now they have 12 of those existing on different continents.
It's very refreshing to see agents that are very committed to this, because there's always people, you think that business people, especially insurance agents, get that bad rap for just that one, get that one policy, get in, get out, move on to the next one. And it's really rewarding to see all of the agents that are actually out there helping people, smiling, shaking hands, figuring out where they fit in the community, not just where the community fits into their business plan.
If they fit.
Right? If that risk is eligible, all these things, no. Definitely.
No, it's remarkable, because it's a breath, for me, it's a breath of fresh air to deal with organizations. Yes, the communication is easy, it's happening, it's clear cut, there's no politics in it, it's what it is and what have you.
No strings attached.
Yeah, no strings attached. Probably the single most important one, and which is totally, completely unbelievable. And it will come back to farmers several-fold.
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, I've already seen it with how many, just even coming to your breakfast networking, how many people I talk to there have been able to get into our facility just for events that we've been able to host. I think you recently attended our one, which was a LinkedIn seminar for business people in the area. We have one coming up with a comedian. So just little fun things and being able to provide that for people as a resource is amazing.
It's very refreshing because there you can see it. It's not just hearing about it, talking about it. And then the other thing is it goes beyond because it's, in a way, it can be easy to make a donation. Anybody can call a check, make a donation. Yeah, that's I absolutely recommend that. But it's another one to lend a hand clearly, openly, with an open heart to an organization or a person. That's terrific.
I can tell you, I had a great experience this year. We have an annual, of course, March for Babies and a Be a Hero for Babies Day for the March of Dimes. So it's definitely not cutting a check because I remember that sweat on the hot day at the march, handing out water to people. So it's really great to see that it's not just cutting a check. It's not just a corporate organization trying to say that we're doing this. It's the people of the organization taking the leadership to get the job done.
That's fundamental because personally, whenever I read that somewhere, I don't remember, whenever somebody donates the money, they still withholding their time and their personal participation. Well, money will never equal, never somebody come and give the time, do that, because even if you put the money in there, then nothing's going to happen. The money could be sitting there and no action.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think the greatest thing about that is with the action, you get the continued relationship and the continued growth. So it's not just, we're going to cut you a check, see you when you ask for more. It's a continued growth and evolution of the relationship and see where that can take you.
And it shows also real commitment because if somebody can arrange their schedule and take things away, takes time away from whatever and come and be there, so that's really the real deal.
Definitely.
It is the real deal. It can't be that. Anybody can donate the money. Yes, again, I'm saying the money is good, but nothing comes close to people who really do commit because, yes, you can have the money. If the money is sitting in the bank and nobody's doing anything with it, well, guess what? Nothing's going to happen.
Exactly.
It is the actions taken by people that help make things happen. That's what the total difference is. And that's what I see in farmers, which I don't think I've ever seen a business that went that far.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yes, I don't think that I've seen that. And as you mentioned, no string attached.
Yes.
When it has happened, you always have string attached, which either it was you saw it at the beginning or it came out at the end when you didn't expect it.
5 years later, you're getting that phone call saying, hey, remember that time?
Yeah. And that's what's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm convinced that you do very well in the area and that the expansion. And it doesn't even have, it's the same thing done with the Chamber of Commerce and what have you. It is, when I'm reading the information you send, community, yes, it's, when I read that, it has some meaning.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I think it's one thing to read on a website, all of these things, but to hear the real life stories of agents, seeing the pictures, going out to the events and saying, hey, there's that farmer's agent, seeing our tents, our banners, all of that. I think it's definitely, it takes it to a whole new level.
Yes. That's what is amazing to me, which is surprising. And I've been in the area here for a good 10 years or 11 years. I just never seen that. No string attached. I mean, as they say, there's no such thing as free lunch. Well, farmers saying there is a free lunch, and I'm giving it.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, and everybody likes a free lunch. Let's be real.
Well, yeah, but I think it goes even beyond that. I tell people sometimes you have people like Martin Luther King and what have you. Those people did what they did in their life. They never sent a bill to anybody. Yet we are all benefiting from their actions. Do you get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Some of us feel this sense of duty and step out and do something about it. It's part of all the challenges that exist. People are building, they just built a monument for him, $100 million or whatever. This is somebody who just went to help the whole country, never sent a bill to all of the people, even worldwide, who are benefiting from what he does or what he did. And that is the same spirit. That's what I see over here. It's a true lending a hand, not necessarily expecting or demanding something in return.
Something that we definitely emphasize is not just with our own families, of course we have our own, but we also, as employees, agents with our clients, we're a really big, it's the farmer's family. And that's what we like to call it. If you're a client, then you're part of our family. If you are somebody in our community that we can do something for, you're part of our family.
I tell you, that's impressed me tremendously, and also the communication. You know, it starts there. That's where you know what you're doing, and do they get back to happening? If it's happening, it's moving, it's working together. As I mentioned last time on our breakfast, there's a quote from Henry Ford, I believe. He says, "Coming together is the beginning. Working together is success." Here, you really get that